It was just past noon on a Tuesday when my life cracked wide open. I was in my office, a small glass cube on the 12th floor of a manufacturing firm in Chicago, shuffling papers and sipping cold coffee, when a man in a navy suit knocked on my door. He didn't even wait for me to say come in. He just opened it, stepped inside, and without looking me in the eye said, "Mr. Evans? You've been served." He dropped a thick envelope on my desk. It was from my wife's attorney. Divorce papers. For a moment, all I could do was stare at my name typed in bold letters on the front page. We'd been married 12 years. Sure, things weren't perfect, we argued over bills, she hated how much I worked, and we hadn't really talked about anything deeper than grocery lists in months. But divorce? At work? The man stood there, silent, waiting for me to say something. Anything. Instead, I reached into my desk drawer, pulled out another envelope I'd been keeping there for months, and placed it gently in his hand. He frowned. "What's this?" I just looked up at him. "For her," I said. He blinked at me, but didn't open it. Just tucked it under his arm, muttered something about court dates, and left. When the door clicked shut behind him, I finally let my shoulders sag. And the tears came. A week later, we were in court. She wouldn't look at me. Not even once. She sat next to her lawyer with her arms crossed, wearing the same cold expression I'd seen creeping into her face for months now. Her attorney stood up, smug and confident, and launched into his opening statements. He painted me as an inattentive husband. Workaholic. Too busy to notice how unhappy she'd been. I didn't even flinch. Every word he said was true. Then it was my turn. The judge asked if I had anything to present to the court. My attorney nodded at me. I stood up and handed her lawyer that envelope. He looked puzzled as he opened it, pulled out a stack of papers, and started reading. And then, he stopped. His face fell. He cleared his throat, whispered something to my wife, and she snatched the papers from his hands. Her eyes darted over the words, her cheeks flushing red as she read each page. Then, she started crying. The whole courtroom went silent. Because inside that envelope, was a year's worth of letters. Letters I'd been writing to her every night after she'd fallen asleep. I never knew how to say the right things when we were awake, so I wrote them down instead. Letters about how much I missed her laugh. How I still remembered the first time I saw her, wearing that yellow dress at the farmer's market. How proud I was of her when she went back to school. How sorry I was for letting work come first. How terrified I was of losing her, but too proud to say it. Every page was a little piece of my heart. And they'd just been sitting in that envelope, waiting. She looked up at me then, and for the first time in months. I saw her. Really saw her. Her lips trembled. I didn't know, she whispered. I finally spoke. Because I didn't tell you. Not the way you deserved to hear it. The judge cleared his throat awkwardly and asked if she still wanted to proceed. She shook her head, tears falling now. No. No, Your Honor. I want to talk to my husband. That afternoon, we sat together in the parking lot. Neither of us said much at first. Then she reached over and took my hand. "Why did you give those to my lawyer?" she asked. I looked at her, my own eyes stinging. "Because," I said softly, "you deserve to know how much I love you, even if it was too late." She pressed her forehead against mine and just wept. It wasn't easy after that. We went to counseling. We learned to talk again. To forgive each other. To forgive ourselves. We started dating again, like two nervous kids. Walks by the lake. Dinner without phones. Little notes left on the kitchen counter. And for the first time in years, we started to laugh again. Sometimes the grandest acts of love aren't about big gestures or perfect timing. Sometimes they're about showing up. About saying the words you've been too scared to say, even if your hands shake when you say them. About choosing each other, even when it would be easier to walk away. When people ask me about that day in court, I just smile and tell them the truth. That envelope didn't destroy her case. It destroyed the walls we built around our hearts. And that's what saved us. Love doesn't always need a second chance. Sometimes, it just needs a voice.